Reader request. Let's talk about Zac Efron. Damn. One, two. So my recording just did some weird things. There's a whole bunch of hiccups there. So I don't know if you heard the intro, but Zac Efron, let's talk about him. Damn. So Zac Efron, not the biggest fan. This was a reader request. But someone had requested that I do a reading on him. They said, he's not well. He's not well. And I know he did some tweaking on his face, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Looks like he had some work done, but like we've been following him. He's been acting since he was like 15, I think, maybe even younger. So, he's definitely becoming a man. But I did pull up a picture of him on the set of his new, I guess he's doing this movie right now, The Iron Claw. Damn, what happened? He's all puffed up. This is like a guy who never ate carbs in his life. There he is a little bit further back. So they're saying that, he had some issues with depression. I don't know. I mean, if I looked like Zac Efron, I don't think I'd ever be depressed. I would just stare at myself in the mirror all day long. So let's get a baseline on him. And I mean, he is pretty bulked up. So I don't know. Is that carbs or is that medication? I don't know. Let's take a look. See how he's doing. Ooh, yeah. Looks like he's struggling with some demons. So, heart of the matter? Under the surface. So I think the issue that this particular person is dealing with is really kind of a workaholic kind of situation. Really throws himself 150% into everything he does. I totally get this because I do that. I'm not overdo everything. But if I did work at a retailer or a grocery store, I would definitely be that person who'd be turning all the bottles the same way and kind of overdoing it. Just because I want it to look nice. I want it to be the best of the best. I want everything to be that much better for my participation in it. So I feel like that's kind of where he is coming from as a baseline, as a regular person, super, super heavy duty work ethic, but almost a work ethic at his own expense, at the expense of the other buckets in his life. So, I have a reading that I do for people. And it's one of my old neighbors, Glenn. He had said to me, sometimes your buckets just aren't full, and I was like, what do you mean your buckets? He's like, your life buckets, if your relationship bucket, your work bucket, your family bucket, your friendship bucket. And he goes, sometimes some of the buckets are full and some of them aren't. I'm like, oh, that's a great way to look at it. You have different buckets in your life. And, I think the key to a good life is to have fewer buckets and enrich all of them. Like, some of us, like, I have 2 full-time jobs, I have a family, I have 2 kids that have a million things going on, I have a husband that has a million things going on. I just punched my microphone. So sometimes, I have to make sacrifices. Sometimes I have to pay attention to the husband bucket more than I pay attention to the kid bucket. Sometimes the kid bucket just kind of goes all over the place, and sometimes the work bucket goes all over the place. So there are different things that you have to pay attention to. And it looks like this is an individual who maybe is focusing too much on one of the buckets and at the detriment to the enrichment of the rest of his life. And he kind of feels burnt out because of that. There's definitely a sense of burnout here. Like, is this all there is? Like, I'm not, I'm working, 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 and I feel like I'm never having a happy moment. So that's okay. He's kind of through this process and he's reaching out to this higher self. Now, when I get the high priestess and the devil in the same reading, sometimes that's a recovery situation for substances or mental health issues, those kinds of things. So, this devil card kind of speaks to having issues that we impose on ourselves. So it could be like this ridiculous standard of expectation for work, or it sometimes can be you're doing a little too much of this, or a little too much of this, or a little too much of this, or whatever your thing is, or this, could be too much of those things. But the high priestess is a great sign to have in here because this shows recovery. Then we get our 7 of swords here. So he may be going through the motions and not really digging deep into that true, shadow self kind of thing. And when you're in recovery from an injury, let's put it, a lifetime injury, could be divorce, could be a mental break, it could be something like that. Sometimes we go through the motions, we're like doing the work, but not, we're doing the homework, but we're not able to take the test at the end of the day. And it's kind of like that kind of a pivotal point. There is some value to him dialing back the work. So when he finishes whatever production he's involved in now, or it's that Iron Claw that I just saw, the beefed up picture, what he needs to take a break. He needs to pull it back and really focus on himself and on where he wants to be in a couple of years, not where he wants to be today or where he wants to be at the next award ceremony. He needs to dial that back a little bit. What can we tell him from the cards? What does he need to do to fully heal from this? What can he do? I'm putting this out there. This is nuts. He needs to walk away from acting. I'm sorry. I know he's real good to look at. We can look at his old movies. For the sake of his mental health and what will make him fulfilled is he needs to step away from acting for a bit. Now, that could just be production acting. He could go to like stage. Like there's a huge difference between, not that I'm an actor by any stretch of the imagination, but there's a huge difference between live performing like on Broadway on a stage and production performance. There's a huge difference. And I'm not saying that one is craftier than the other or anything like that, but the feedback is different. And my friends that are actors have told me this. When you act in a studio format, you're dealing with an echo chamber because everybody that's working on the film wants the film or the TV show to be great. So they're going to be like, oh, it's fabulous, it's fabulous. But when you work on stage, if you flub a line, if you don't sell your role, if you don't sell that production on stage, you're going to get an immediate feedback from the audience. You're immediately going to either feel it intuitively. I mean, I know when I I'm a musician, I'm a singer. So when I would perform on stage, you do get that feedback intuitively, psychically from the crowd. You will feel that. Anybody that's ever gone to a club that's popping, like, you walk in the club and it's like, yeah, this is like the right place to be. Or you walk in and it's like, oh, this is like kind of a weird environment. Once, I'll do a sidebar real quick. Once upon a time, I worked at a Jersey Shore bar, one of the best known Jersey Shore bars. um, Everybody that was working that night, I was actually a cigar girl that night. I think I totally did it up. Like I was like cigars, cigarettes, but we all felt something was amiss that night. There was something off, odd going on. And, we were all kind of talking about it. And then we figured out that there was a dealer there who pretty much had hooked everybody up in the club with a certain substance. And everyone was like having a great time. And it wasn't like, there were fights breaking out or anything. It just, the energy felt off because everyone was high as a kite and not on the alcohol that we were selling. So it was an interesting night. It definitely was really fun. Some weird things happened. I ran into a childhood friend who like spotted me after like 20 years, like across the room. It was like, hey, and I was like, what? And he was super cute. I was like, wow, like you grew up, didn't you? But nonetheless, so he needs to do something that's a bit more fulfilling. He's kind of left empty from the production. So I don't know if this is a situation where he should go and perform on stage. I don't know if he ever came from that kind of environment, if he was like a live performance kind of guy, or if this is maybe stepping away for, I don't know if we still do live studio audiences for TV shows. We probably should. It's kind of a cool idea. But it looks like he needs to step away and do something that is more fulfilling. This is not something that's like super lucrative. This isn't like he needs to talk to his agent and like get a better deal or get a better payout for his work. This is something he kind of needs to step away from. And the worst part is that he doesn't like the idea of doing it. He doesn't want to lose his traction. He's afraid that that's going to end his career. But if he were to look back, he would see like this hasn't been super fulfilling for him. There's some itch that is not being scratched, some life itch that's not being scratched. The message for him is that the richness of life is not the house that you have or the clothes you wear or the money that's in your wallet. The richness of life is contentment and happiness. And that's why our Queen of Pentacles comes up here, because she's content and she's happy. She finds value in the things that she has, not she is has value because of the things that she has. This is the Queen of Pentacles is someone who takes an old table that is maybe outdated and strips it down and invests her time and her efforts into it and paints it gold so that it's like this super cool, like refaced kind of awesome thing. The Queen of Pentacles takes an old home and rebuilds it and makes it beautiful again. It's not just about having the good things. It's about valuing those things that you have and making them something really awesome, or transforming them into something that's awesome again. It's really that kind of a thing. And this is the message that he needs to go back on. But how is he today, as I slam my wand onto my desk? How is he today? Very tense. Like I'm actually already getting like a tension headache. I think that's kind of the things. Today, he's medium. We got that sun card, but it did jump out sideways. We can read cards sideways. Why not? He's medium. He's neither here nor there. He's not sad. He's not happy. He's okay. There's still this dynamic tension of spirit. That's like really the best way. It's like almost like he's like just tensed up spiritually, trying to find that fulfillment. And I think the fulfillment that he's going to find is outside of the industry, which is pretty scary for an actor, especially of his age, because you don't want to lose your traction. You don't want to lose your fan base. I don't think he will. He's really cute. But what do you do at that point? Like, what career do you go into at that point? Like, do you go, apply for a job at Home Depot? I don't know. I mean, there's certainly some kind of aspect. There's a grounding aspect. And I said Home Depot because I'm getting the sense of wood. Like he should. I carry crystals around with me all the time. Like I have all kinds of crazy crystals here. My Alicia Wicker selenite, my Alicia Wicker wand, aliciawicker.com if you want to get amazing crystals. She's also here on Facebook or on YouTube at Alicia Wicker. She does psychic readings as well. But he shouldn't be hanging on to crystals. He's too much in his head now. He should be hanging on, it sounds terrible, to a piece of wood. He should have some kind of wood on him to establish that grounding, whether it's a piece of petrified wood or whatever. But I'm definitely getting that kind of an influence for him. But I think he's doing okay today. So to my viewer who requested this video, and I didn't tag you in it, but I'm not going to say your name. I can't remember who asked me to do it. I'm sorry. But I did want to take a look at it. So it was an excellent suggestion. So we can take a look at him again on another day if you want. So comment down below if you are a Zac Efron fan. I don't know his body of work, but I think he's adorable. I think he's a good looking dude. And I kind of like him extra beefy. Kind of like that guy. So I think he's going through some mental stuff. The puffiness, that weight gain, I don't think that's a medication thing. I think that's just for the role. I didn't pull on that, but I psychically got it. So you're going to have to take my word for it. So I will see you guys soon. I'm going to keep doing production videos today. So you'll be seeing them over the next week or so. And thanks for hanging out. As always, link in the description down below. You can schedule your own private reading with me if you're so inclined. I will talk to you all soon. Have a great rest of your day.